Hey everyone, welcome to Rippin' Lips with Marty Lawson. I'm your host, Marty Lawson. A real quick intro. This is my first video that I'm putting up. I want to give a little introduction about myself. 58 years old, almost 58. I grew up in the state of Maine. I'm a Navy vet. I currently still support the Navy as a contractor. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm a bass fishing guy. I also like to do antique stuff, like, maybe refinish antiques or refurbish antiques, woodworking, things like that. And I got to give a shout out to the wife. I love her to death. If it wasn't for her giving me the encouragement to do this, I wouldn't be doing it. So that's me in a nutshell. So you may ask yourself, what is a guy like me, 58 years old, doing wanting to start a YouTube channel? Well, there's a few things I want to accomplish with this, and I've broken it down into 4 different things. The first one is I want to share knowledge and be able to provide a venue in which that knowledge can be shared either by myself or other people. The second thing is I want to have an interactive platform. I want people to be able to ask questions and get answers to those questions. You look at a lot of the other YouTube channels and questions get asked and they'll answer them in the comments. I want questions to be asked that I can answer the following week or the week after. I want to answer those questions for people that provide the comments and questions in those comments. The third thing is I want to promote local craftsmen. So I'll go into that in a little bit more depth here in just a few minutes. And the other thing is I just want to have fun. A lot of other channels are very static. I want to have fun. So I laugh, I carry on. I'll try and behave with my jokes, but I just want to have fun. So let me go a little bit more in depth. So number 1, to share knowledge. My big thing is I want to help folks out to be better at fishing. So, I'm going to go through so many different things and talk to so many different people and get different ideas at which to put out content each week. I want to do things like learning tactics, learning how to read water. And reading water means by looking at different terrain and things in the water and be able to explain what that does with the fish. What to do and what not to do when you're out there fishing. There's things that will help you catch fish and things that just won't work. I want to teach through the use of experience, guests on the show, and telling stories. That's all part of the fun. So why not do it? I want to get people on that have experience and that are willing to share their experiences with everyone else out there. Number 2, have an interactive platform. By that, I mentioned it a couple times so far, and that's by myself reading the comments that you folks put on my individual videos. And what I mean by that is I want people to be able to ask questions in the comments, provide feedback, ask for what else they'd like to see. But that's going to be one of my main things, is really going through the comments and making it more interactive. I'm also going to use Facebook, and my email is going to be available, and a bunch of people already have my phone number that can just call and talk to me. That's what I want to do. I want to open up and just provide a venue where people can ask questions and get answers to their questions. So, again, the topics being, techniques and just questions that people want to know more about. That's going to be number 2 on my list. So, I'll explain a little later in this video about something that I'm going to do every video, and that I'm going to be looking for comments. And then the next video, I'm going to restate my question, and I'm going to provide the answers that I was provided. So hard questions sometimes easy questions, but that way other people can look at it and give their input and kind of be part of my videos. Another part about having an interactive forum, I'm going to bring guests on. So guests meaning some other YouTubers, local craftsmen. I've met people that, make rods. I'm going to talk to local fishermen and fisherwomen, from tournament fishers to kayak and shore fishers, crappie fishermen, catfish fishermen, even some saltwater and freshwater stuff that I've talked to people about that are interested in doing this. And when I broadcast my idea to them, they've definitely given me positive feedback that this is something that they'd like to see. I've had conversations with some folks over the phone, asked them if they'd like to do this, and I've gotten an overwhelming yes. So please stay tuned as I continue this journey and creating these videos. Okay, number three on my list is promote local craftsmen. So I went to the fishing flea market at the Fredericksburg Eagles Club here a couple weeks ago. I interacted with a lot of different people that make their own stuff. Soft plastic guys. They pour in their own soft plastics, whether it be in their basement or in their garage. They're working, they're doing stuff. And I just think the quality is great, and they're all willing to do custom colors. So you can't call KVD or Z-Man and ask for custom colors, but these local folks, you can. So if there's something that you really like, maybe it is a certain type of KVD trickworm or something, but you just want a little variation in the colors that you're so restricted from, you can call some of these soft plastic guys and they'll make the color that you want. So I'm going to be bringing those folks on board and having them present their products on one of my shows so that people out there can see this. And then I'm going to provide, all the contact information, their websites, if they have a YouTube channel or, a way to order, I'm going to provide that. There's folks out there that make their own hand-painted crankbaits. Some of these things are unbelievable. You really need to be exposed to this and see these things. It's just fantastic. I met a man. I'll tell you, he's MES Baits, as in Michael Echo Sierra Baits. He came up with his own style of blade bait, or like we like to refer to it as a chatterbait. He came up with his own pattern for doing that. He makes them himself. He also makes Ned worms and jigs and spinner baits. Great person, great personality. He's willing to come on my show. I saw other folks that make, hand-tied jigs and things like that. And then I've been in contact with a few rod makers. Everything from a guy that will say, you want a medium, heavy, fast action rod, 6.5 foot, 7 foot, whatever. He'll make that for you. To someone that makes very, very high-end custom rods where he measures your height, takes your grip angles, the way you hold your rod, the way you cast, everything into account, and he makes that very, very specific custom rod. So I've talked to both sides that way, and they want to come on the show. So to me, it's just, hopefully it's going to be interesting to everyone else, but it's extremely interesting to me. I want to see how they do it. I want to see how they accept inputs, everything. I want to learn all about that. So having the local folks come in, I'm also looking at getting some local guides from places like Lake Anna, come on the show and tell us about how they got into being a guide and how they become successful, things like that. So that's the other part that I want to do, and that's my step 3. Last but not least, step 4, and that's having fun. I'm a very personable type guy. I like to meet people. I like to talk to people. I like to learn. So I'm thinking if I do that with my YouTube channel, hopefully people are going to be like me and want to learn and then go out and meet people and do things and try things. Enjoy the outdoors, enjoy fishing, and I think the fishing in our area has just exploded. Part of it due to COVID, because with COVID, you couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. But you could get out in a boat or a kayak or stand on the shore and go fishing and not worry about being around anybody. So I think fishing has really exploded in our area. Now, whether or not that trend will continue or when eventually we return to normal, that'll start to simmer down. But I did see a lot more boats out on the water last year than I did the year before. So we'll see how that works out. But again, it's all about having fun, talking to people. When you go someplace to go fishing, whether you're in a boat or on the shore, it never hurts to just strike up a conversation with someone that might be near you, on the boat ramp or whatever. You always learn something, and you can make a lot of good friends that way. And that's the other part of fishing that's so great is unless you want to stay by yourself, you can make a lot of really good friends. And that's what I've been doing the past few months, is really making friends and learning. And that's why I wanted to do this channel. Okay, so I had a few technical difficulties towards the end of my video, thus the change of the shirt and all that type of stuff. So instead of just putting up some bad footage, I decided to do it over. So here I am trying to get this knocked out. So in closing, again, I'm going to ask a question and I'm going to ask for comments. So my question to everyone out there for this week is, right here I have a hand-painted square bill that I picked up at the fishing flea market at the Eagles Club a few weeks back. Take a nice look at that. It's really nice looking. My question to him specifically, not to the group, is how do they get those initials on the bottom of that thing? Very tiny. Anyways, okay, so the question this week is going to be, I've watched a few videos and I got varying opinions, and I want to know what folks out in our community and our area do. So this one gentleman said he removed the O-ring, if you can see that there. He removes the O-ring from the front of his crankbaits. And I always thought or were under the impression that having that O-ring helps in the tracking of the bait and it does what it's supposed to do. Otherwise, they wouldn't put an O-ring on every crankbait you buy. So this gentleman said he takes the O-ring off and he puts on one of these very small clips. And this is from Spro, and it is called a Duo Lock Snap, and it's good up to 33 pounds, so that's pretty good. I don't think they're going to break off very easily. But he ties this on his line so that he can change his crankbaits out faster than tying and retying every time he wants to change something out. So, if you're not getting anything on the red crawl-looking thing, and you happen to see some shad or minnows out there and you want to switch up your crankbait, he just unsnaps it and snaps his other crankbait on. Where I would be, clipping and then retying the other one on. So that is my question. Keep the O-ring or get rid of the O-ring? And that's going to close it out for my very first episode. Looking back and watching the footage that I've already recorded, there's some things that I noticed I have to stop doing. I like to say a lot and So my intention is to stop doing that. So it's going to be pressure on me to stop doing that. Then the other thing is I repeated myself so many times about the comments. I have to stop repeating myself. My good friend and my former boss, Bill Jensen, used to tell me all the time, stop talking, you're repeating yourself. So I got to work on that. That's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've watched it to the end to get to my question. And until next time, adios.